Former President Trump kicked off his speech at CPAC yesterday with a question: miss me yet? Well, our next guest has reported for years on the former president's relationship with the media, most recently in a new op-ed called "The Media's Cynical Ploy." He argues that the media is still focused on Trump despite attacking him for years because they are unwilling or unable to report fairly on the current president, President Biden. Adam Weiss is the author of that piece, and he joins us now. He's also the CEO of AMWPR, and he attended the former president's speech at CPAC the other day. And our Monday panelists, Joe and Victoria, are here as well. Adam, I'll start with you there. There is clearly a new man in the Oval Office, but you say reporters can't quit Trump. Why do you think that is?
Hi, Emma. Thanks for having me. I think the ideology runs so deep, and they're so vested in Biden as the president that they don't want to cover him. I mean, and if they use the excuse that, Trump gets ratings and Trump is still, the man that they want to cover, it's not true, because Biden signed some 30-something executive orders killing jobs in Pennsylvania, killing jobs in South Dakota, West Virginia. So where are the stories where they're moving it forward? Where they're going to interview the husband and wife and the family that's going to lose their house, lose their mortgage. They always do when it's a Republican president. They move the story forwards, or allowing the executive order allowing biological male to just play in women's sports in high school. They can move the story forward again by going interviewing the high school wrestler, female, who's about to get her scholarship, and say, is this fair? But they don't want to move the story at all forward. They don't even want to cover it, the mainstream media, because it'll make President Biden look bad. So again, this endless stream of covering the President Trump over and over again. I'm looking down on my feed. I'm saying, why am I getting updates from the New York Times about President Trump? He's not the president anymore. And historically, we cover whatever the president of the United States does. If his shoes fall off, if his hair is out of place, if he slips in a speech, we cover it. But we're not getting that anymore right now. Yeah. We used to get it even if it was a Democrat, but they're so deep in their, favor of President Biden that they won't cover
right.
him.
Well, it also begs the question of if there is such an obvious conflict of interest here when it comes to reporters or even news anchors having close ties to the Democrat White House or even Democrat lawmakers. And I know, Victoria, the Cuomo brothers, those might be the most obvious example here. It makes you wonder if you could truly cover an administration fairly when you've got so much invested in the game.
Yeah, I disagree with Adam. Obama was sacred. You couldn't ever criticize President Obama. Fast and Furious, the IRS scandal with Lois Lerner, he did nothing wrong. Threatening the Supreme Court and insulting the Supreme Court at the State of the Union, and got his facts wrong about what the case said. And it was just nothing to see here. So we're used to this. We Washingtonians who've been here since the Reagan administration, Joe before that.
Adam, what do you think? Yeah.
They would cover Obama or Bill Clinton, but they would never move the story forward. Now they're not even covering Biden. It seems like whether it's the Keystone Pipeline or other executive orders, we don't even see the mainstream, the major networks in the morning or night even covering these stories. So yes, they would cover it with Clinton, they would cover it with Obama. They wouldn't move it forward in a negative way, but they would still cover it because we have to cover everything the president does. When Joe Biden holds his impromptu press conferences and he slips, we don't even hear about it unless you're watching YouTube or watching clips online. And where's the op-eds about the psychiatrists coming on? It seemed like when President Trump was president, we had these hundreds of psychiatrists from universities writing op-eds on his mental capabilities. Nothing on Biden yet. So that's the difference. I know Biden's was always favorable on the coverage, but yet they would cover the little tiny thing, but they wouldn't move it the extra step forward.
Yeah, I mean, we try to keep an eye on it, our best here at Newsmax. Joe DeGeneva, your thoughts on the coverage and how it has shifted again back to maybe, the light touch, the kid gloves when it comes to covering a Democrat in office.
There's no doubt that the Biden people have decided to continue the campaign strategy, which is to hide the candidate, and now they're hiding the president. And of course, the media doesn't do very much complaining about the fact that the president of the United States is absent, nowhere to be found, infrequently to be found. And when he is found, he's incoherent, or he can't get a sentence out, or he can't pronounce a name properly or a place properly. The truth is, the mainstream media and the major newspapers in this country, with the exception of the Wall Street Journal, are completely compromised. They are now basically organisms of the Democratic Party. They're interested in helping the president succeed, quote unquote, succeed, with these monstrously anti-democratic and anti-business policies. And what you're seeing now with the crisis at the border, it's amazing to me that Jen Psaki isn't peppered every day with questions about none of this would have happened if you had simply left in place the Trump policies and then taken your time and taken issue with them one by one. Instead, they changed everything within a week, and we now have this monstrous assault on our borders from Central America, but not a peep from the mainstream media.
Well, we did hear how they decided to describe the border situation. We heard kids in cages during the Trump administration, now kids at different holding facilities during the Biden administration. I think that one's probably pretty clear for anyone watching. Adam Weiss joining us live on the program. Adam, thank you very much, and our panelists Joe and Victoria. Please stick around.
Thank you for having me.